What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Mystic Watch, and today we got a discussion video for you. And I wanted to make this video a while ago. By a while ago I meant like last week, but ever since the legendary shinobi and everything in Madara, my videos have been focused on that. So now that things have calmed down and I have some time, I'm gonna make this video today. It's gonna be going over whether or not characters are weaker than before, and I'm gonna focus this discussion primarily between Kirin Sasuke and Kakazu, but I'll talk about other characters as well. It's just easy to compare them because they have the same range. But other than that, it's not just our characters weaker, but I have like this theory where there's going to be a shift in power. So let's just compare the stats and then we'll talk about everything as we go. So Kakazu has max HP 1004, max attack 1308, right? And he's long range. You know, that would be considered good a couple months back, but right now it seems a little bit weak. And I'm gonna show you guys, well, you can see it from the screen, that Kirin Sasuke has 1006 HP, so 2 more HP. That's not a big deal, but 1636 attack, right? He has a full, or is it 300 and about 30 attack more, and he has the same exact cost. Right, their both cost is 60. So, you know, their range is long, they both cost 60, so why does one have 330 more attack than the other? So that's like my biggest thing. And it's not like Kirin Sasuke is a Blazing Fest character or anything. So that's like kind of what I wanted to point it out, right? Like, so what's going on with these stats? And I'm gonna go over Hidan stats as well because it's somewhat prevalent in his. He has max HP is 2306 and his max attack is 1458. So for a short range, most short ranges these days have close to 2000 attack, and their HP tends to his HP is like pretty high, but you gotta realize that, you know, 1 point of HP is not the same as 1 point of attack. You can even note this in the pills, right? Even Bandai thinks this is the same. Why is like the cap for attack pills 100, but the cap for HP pills 300, right? They're not the same value. Like, you can't exchange one for one. So the fact that he has a lot of HP, you know, it's nice, but it's not the same. Like, if you cut out 600 HP, for example, of him, you'd take him down from 2300 to 1700. And you would exchange that for roughly 200 attack. So that put him at 1658, which is still low. So my point that I'm trying to get at is that these guys' stats are kind of low, right? I'm not talking about their abilities yet or their jutsus. I'm just talking about purely, you know, the raw stats. So I'm just curious, like, you know, why is it low? And then I remembered that we got a scan with when Itachi was coming around, or when they were announcing the new game mode, and one of the coolest things that was translated from that scan was that, you know, a first time clear reward or something along those lines. You'd get a dupe release item or a dupe unlocking item. So what that sounds like to me is an Elder Kai from Dokkan Battle. And for those of you who don't know, it's just in Dokkan, it's just a way to increase your super attack, which otherwise can only be increased by dupes or characters of the same name, which I really hope they add in Naruto Blazing. But currently, the only method of unlocking dupe abilities in Naruto Blazing is by having that exact copy of the character. So at least we know that from the survival mode, we should be getting something along the lines of an item that can unlock a dupe. Not sure how prevalent that item is going to be or how often we will have access to that item, but I hope it's rare enough where, you know, it's not just given out to everyone, but it's not too rare where you can at least max out a character or two here and there, you know, over the course of a month or two. If you collect enough of them, you can max out a character, right? You can get five of them, maybe over the course of 2 months or something. I don't know. I don't know the specifics, but just not. I don't want it so rare where you can get like one a month or something like that. You know, just a little bit more frequent, or a way where you gotta work for it if you want to get it. So it's not something that's just handed out, but you get rewarded for playing the game. and it's given to you that way. So speaking about like why am I bringing up the dupe item, is that if you take a look at the dupes of these two characters that I mentioned, Hidan and Kakuzu, they're very specific dupes. The abilities themselves are very specific, and they're also very strong. I'll actually show you Sasuke's dupes really quickly, and how they're kind of all over the place. So the first one is boost slip damage rate by 10%, which is good, right? Because his first jutsu has a 90%, and the second one has a 50%. So nothing like, it's not like an over the top ability, it's just a solid ability. Second one is removes enemies barriers when attacking. That's really good. It's unique to him, I believe, and Jugo, but the other ones can, no, also Chidori Sasuke has a Kid Sasuke. Either way, it's a very good ability. The third and fourth one are boost critical rate by 1.5. That one is a little bit underwhelming, and the final is boost mobilization rate by 10%. So that, of course, that is a solid, one. Brings his mobilization rate from 50 to 60, but it's like, it's nothing over the top, right? Like, it's a good dupe ability, but as you can see, there's no rhythm or there's no pattern to the abilities, and by that I mean, let's compare him to Kakuzu now. His first ability is boost attack by 100. Second is boost HP by 100. Third is boost attack by 100. Fourth is boost HP by 200, and the final one, the fifth one, is boost attack by 200. So over the course of his dupes, if you manage to get all 5 dupes and max out his abilities, you'd add an additional 400 attack. And adding an additional 400 attack is a lot, right? It's like, you're talking about, for a long range unit, having 1700 attack is pretty really good, right? You can compare it to Limit Break Itachi. Limit Break Itachi, I'm pretty sure, has 1900 attack. I gotta double check, but either way, he competes for a really solid spot if you have his. Of course, like, the dupes is the problem, right? So like, who's gonna get 5 extra copies of Kakuzu? But this is what I meant by the dupe items being somewhat relevant, or just being a way where you can get them just enough to max out certain characters. So my theory is that after this dupe item comes out, they're setting it so that newer characters have lower raw stats, but are really good when maxed out with dupes. So you see it with Kakuzu, right? Like, plus 400 from his abilities is a lot, right? Long range is a lot. So he's doing more than Minato, who has vast. Minato's his own story, right? If he got maxed out dupes, he's still a monster. But just something to note, right? Like, 1700 long range is a lot, and on top of that, his multiplier are very high. Normal jutsu, he has a 4.5 multiplier. Ultimate jutsu, he has a 10.5 multiplier. So he ends up doing a lot of damage. So the other person I wanted to take a look at is Hidan. Hidan's dupes are, all 5 of them, restores HP, 100 HP every single turn. If you manage to get all 5, you don't have to bring any healer, you don't have to do anything, right? Let's say you just bring all 5, every single turn, no matter Hidan is in the front or back, he will heal you 500 HP. And let's say you happen to bring maybe like a Jiraiya, put Jiraiya in the back, that's an extra, 120 every single turn, so you got 620. Let's say you decide to bring someone else in the back, right? You're playing with a friend, he brings a Jiraiya also, you're healing 740, so every single turn. Or if you want to get really fun, let's say you manage to have 3 fully duped Hidans, right? Between you and 2 other people. You go into multiplayer, every single turn you're healing 1500 HP. So it's something obnoxious like that. So these characters aren't going to be extremely strong off the back without dupes, but as you can see, when they get all their dupes, they're monsters in a sense. And you don't really see this with too many characters beforehand, or like before these guys. Their dupes tend to be all over the place. There's always some exceptions, like the Shikamaru. Like I believe every single one of his abilities is increase in mobilization rate. So at like max max dupes, he has like something nuts like 90% immobilization chance on his ultimate. I don't know, but it's something like that, right? But other than that, their dupe abilities are all random. If you think back to the times of like the first original set of characters like Zabuza, Kakashi, Naruto, Sasuke, they all have like a random 5% chance to dodge, a critical rate up, maybe an HP up, slip damage up, attack combination damage up, something like that, right? They're just so random where it doesn't matter if you get a dupe of them, it's not gonna make that extra ability is not gonna mean much. So they seem to be focusing the dupe abilities into something that'll really benefit the character, and you see this with Madara as well. Of course, Madara has a higher stat line in general, simply because he is a monster, the legendary shinobi. They have to overhype him. Bandai's got to make their money. It's a Blazing Fest unit. But regardless, even with this stat line, 1798 HP, 1652 attack, for a mid-range, people thought he was shafted, right? Like, oh, what is this garbage character? Like, he can't be good. 1652 attack, like Shippuden Sasuke, the skill 1, and Might Guy, the skill 1 as well. They both got more attack for a mid-range unit. Like, well, what are they doing, Bandai? But you can see that they're not putting the focus in the raw stats anymore. His multipliers are absolutely nuts. 6 attack for his normal jutsu and 18 for his ultimate. So if you get his dupes abilities are 100 attack for the first one. The next one is reduced damage from skill by 10%. The one after is reduced damage by heart, and the fourth one is reduced damage from body by 10%. He gets tanky. And the fifth one is boost attack by 100, and the final one is a 20% chance to erase chakra consumption on ultimate jutsu. So you got a 1 in 5 chance to just not use chakra when you ultimate. Those are insane abilities. If you max out his abilities, right, a fully duped Madara is insanely stronger than a non-duped Madara. Like, just regardless of cost, right? Forget about the cost. Let's say they both cost 80. There's a big difference between a non-duped and a fully duped Madara, where you don't see that difference in other characters. Where, if you have every single dupe ability, it sometimes might not make that big of a deal, right? It's like, oh, I got all the dupes, so what? Like, they're all random things like combination attack up, reduced chance of being immobilized, reduced chance of being countered, something stupid like that. So you can just see that the dupe abilities are getting insane now, and you see the lower stat lines as well. So that's my theory. Let me know what you guys think. Do you see this trend or maybe I'm just kind of crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about? But this is what I think. I feel like when the item drops for the new game mode, we'll be able to get a handful of these dupe abilities releasing thing. I don't know how they'll make it work out, but it sounds like something realistic to me. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.